Hi, it's Heinz of hindsight.org. We've rebranded away somewhat from Quantum Careers to hindsight.org. Today, I'd like to talk to you about leadership. I've spoken about this before several times, but this is a very different approach. I think many of you know that I love to learn new things and read new things. This approach is a little bit different, and it talks about these three elements coming together. And Tony Gambill, who published a short little note about this, calls this the energy or the leadership trifecta. These three elements coming together, the leadership trifecta. And it was novel to me. Again, once you think about things, it's maybe not quite so new, but novel to me. And the three elements are these: to be a leader, and leaders are called to create change for a better world tomorrow than we have today. The first, we're going to talk about technical leadership. And a lot of times that involves having some acquaintance, some expertise, some know-how about an industry of some kind. Now, an industry can be defined in many different ways. Having technical skills in an industry and using that to create a vision for the future state of that industry. To look at who are thought leaders in that industry, the innovative people that are patenting and creating new ways of doing things and just taking that industry into a next generation, thought leaders. Finally, we need to be able to communicate what our notion, our vision, and what those thought leaders are teaching us. We need to be able to communicate that to others so that they can understand it. So that we're not just talking into a cloud of uninformed people. We need to keep them informed in a way that they can understand. So communication is a very key element of this also. Finally, we need to know about projects and processes, how to go from the vision to reality. That often involves projects and the respective project management or processes. How are we going to get there? What are the procedures to get there? So in the technical area of leadership, we've talked about an industry, a vision for where that can go, talking about thought leaders in that, communicating the vision in a way that's understood by others, those that we want to take with us in the vision. And finally, project and processes. That's the first of the trifecta. The second one is organizational. And organizations, of course, are made up of people, which bring their own complexities with it. And in that, we're going to mention we need to have a vision for the organization again. I'm going to back up for just a second. A vision is a desirable future state. I can see it. It's in the future. My calling as a leader is to create passionate followers for that vision. Hey, I can see this. Come with me. Become a passionate follower for the vision so that we can make this change together. So vision, organizationally, where do we want this to go? Vision usually begets goals. Vision, goals, and goals beget actions. We see something, we see a future, a desirable future state. We want to go there. Let's create some goals to get there. And the goals then create action. They're actionable goals, and actions create results. They create that change that we want to see. Oftentimes people talk about what are called SMART goals. SMART goals they're very specific, they're measurable. I know this is what it's going to be. I can measure the change. It's actionable. We know what actions we need to take to move there. It's realistic. Let's go to Pluto. Way down the road. Mars, maybe that's Elon Musk's dream. Finally, to put a time frame on it makes goals more realistic and actionable. So SMART goals is one common way of looking at goals. Finally, the last of the trifecta is self. This is based, in my mind, somewhat on Stephen Covey's Sharpen the Saw. Managing myself in a way that's effective. And Covey talked about the three main elements of our being. The first is physical. I'm going to live in this body the rest of my life. I'm going to live in this body the rest of my life, so I better look after it. Physical leadership of myself. Mental leadership of myself. Again, as I mentioned, I love to learn new things. I love to read books. I love to watch podcasts, and I love to share that with others because when I bounce ideas off of others, I learn by listening to them. So mental, physical, mental, and finally, there's an element to our beings called spiritual. I'm not going to a religious area here, just spiritual. There's a part of us that is neither physical nor mental that we should also be looking at. So when I look at this trifecta of leadership that Tony Gambill talks about, he talks about technical. We need to know something with a vision for where the technical stuff could go. We need to look at this at our organization because organizations are made of people with all of our complexities. Finally, I need to manage myself and lead myself in a way that's effective. Again, it's Heinz of hindsight.org. Thanks.